Okay, great. Well, good evening and welcome everyone to the joint meeting of the City Council of the City of Moreno Valley Community Services District, City Successor Agency for the Community Development Agency of the City of Moreno Valley Housing Authority, Moreno Valley Public Financing Authority, and the Board of Library Trustees. The City Council does receive a separate stipend for CSD meetings. I now call this meeting to order on September 1st, 2020 at 6 p.m. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Thornton?
Present.
Councilmember Marquez?
Present.
Councilmember Cabrera?
I'm here.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca? Mayor Gutierrez?
Here, thank you.
Mhm.
Staff introductions, please.
Pat Jaquez-Nares, City Clerk?
Mike Lee, City Manager.
Marshall Hireman, Assistant City Manager, Chief Financial Officer.
Michael Wolf, Interim Assistant City Manager, Director of Public Works, City Engineer.
Manuel Mancha, Community Development Director.
Patty Solano, Parks and Community Services Director.
Okay, what about any of the police? Oh, we already got them? Okay. Okay, great. All right. Okay, cool. I don't know, and sometimes the order changes because I was like, wait a minute, I remember someone else was last, but maybe not. Okay. All right, well, welcome everyone. Welcome back. Welcome to the City of Moreno Valley, the residents. Welcome back to our council meeting. We were gone for quite a bit for recess, but a lot of us were actually here. And before we get to the public comments, I just wanted to welcome everyone for that. You know, there's been a lot that's been done in our city. Even though we're still facing this pandemic that's still growing and growing, but we are moving forward, you know, with a lot of programs that we've actually established. And, you know, obviously the new library that's here already, you know, the amphitheater that's being built. So there's a lot of good things that are still happening, even though the pandemic is here. So just wanted to start that off before we hear the public comments. Start a good note. Before we hear public comments this evening, I do ask and encourage everyone to please keep their comments respectful. Obviously, it's your First Amendment. You know, you can say whatever you want to say. You know, that's your First Amendment. I can't stop you. But I think we can accomplish more, you know, if we're respectful towards each other. I think that's really important. And also, I ask that you keep to 3 minutes per speaker. We don't have as many speakers tonight, but so just, you know, keep to the 3 minutes. And then I also ask that if you wish to speak on any item on the agenda or not on the agenda, this is the time to do so. So if you want to speak on either one, this is the time to do so. And then any person wishing to address me as mayor and city council in any matter under the public items must follow the teleconference procedures, which is actually stated and outlined in our agenda and was posted several days earlier and in multiple places. You must wait to be identified to speak by myself. Members of the public may be limited again to 3 minutes per person. As the mayor, I will establish an overall time limit for comments on a particular agenda item. Members of the public must direct their questions to myself and not to other members of the council, the applicant, the staff, or the audience. And so at that time, I know we have Madam Clerk, we have a guest speaker tonight, right? It's a fire chief?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and have him speak first. And it'll just be kind of like, you know, he can just introduce himself. He just wanted to introduce himself. And he's actually the fire chief, not just the fire chief for our city, but he's the CAL FIRE county. So he oversees all of the fire chiefs in the cities. Is he available, Pat?
I'm trying to find him, but I don't see him.
Is that Chief Alex Edward?
Let me look at the
It's
list.
Mr. Weiser.
Fire.
Thank you. There we go.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, thank you
How
very
are you doing,
much.
Chief? Good.
I'm terrific. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council. It's a pleasure to be able to talk to you tonight. I just want to introduce myself. I was on August 4th, excuse me, I was put forth by the Board of Supervisors to be the county fire chief. And that's what I'm here to do, to introduce you and be a part of this team. I'm excited to work with Moreno Valley, and I had the pleasure already to sit down with your city manager and assistant city manager. Terrific job.
Thank you so much. And where are you housed, Chief?
Sure. That's a good question, Mayor. I'm at our headquarters, which is in Paris.
Oh, okay. Okay, in Paris. Okay.
Yeah, right down the way from you. I did want to let you know and everyone know, just a short, quick story, that in 1986, when I came to Riverside County, I was first assigned to Moreno Valley back in the day when they were still choosing their name.
Oh, wow. Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, thank you so much for being our new county fire chief. Is it right? Is that the proper term?
Yes, that's correct. I'm the county fire chief. Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I think Mike's a pretty good city manager, so I think you'll really like working with him as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start our public comments. We'll go ahead and start with Brandon Karn as our first speaker. Okay, Brandon.
I'm here.
Okay.
Good evening. I'm here on an item that did not happen in Moreno Valley, but either way, it's an extremely disturbing development and it has local connections to Moreno Valley. 3 weeks ago, the Tulare County District Attorney's Office indicted members of a medical management company called Healthcare Conglomerate Associates. And those individuals are facing 40 different misdemeanor and felony charges ranging from embezzlement to grand theft to money laundering, and it has direct and local connections to Moreno Valley. Healthcare Conglomerate Associates is a company co-founded by local businessman in Moreno Valley, Ido Benzivi of Highland Fairview, which the majority of this city council has received an immense amount of money from. His younger brother was the CEO, Dr. Benny Benzivi, and he's facing felony charges that could send him to prison in California for 40 years, including grand theft and embezzlement. The attorney that worked for Healthcare Conglomerate Associates is named Bruce Green. He is also being charged with things like felony conflict of interest. He has direct ties to Highland Fairview and Ido Benzivi in Moreno Valley because he has done a lot of legal work for them. For the Skechers Distribution Center, for the World Logistics Center, even our last city attorney, Mr. Martin Kausentowitz, knew Benny Benzivi through the city of Visalia when he was the city attorney there. So we have a lot of interesting local connections to this businessman who we have been screaming as unethical and questionable for years. Now we have seen an actual criminal indictment in Central California that is really disturbing. And it's extremely disturbing because the vast majority of you on this city council do not have a problem taking super PAC money from them. And do you even know the source of that money? Much of this money was an indictment from money laundering from multiple states. And they had super PAC donations that were going to some of the groups that the 2016 Mueller probe was looking into, called Psych Group, to create fake information for an election in a campaign like that. It really tells you there has been an absence in moral leadership and judgment and common sense from you, the majority of the city council members who have taken money from this businessman. Do you even know what type of activity he may not have been doing, Ido Benzivi may have been doing in Moreno Valley when it's connected to this? I am honestly surprised he was not indicted, at least yet, in Tulare County. And I imagine that most of you the two of you who are running for election in this office are probably going to accept similar support from him in the future. You, as city leaders, are absolutely not doing your due diligence, and it really causes questions to arise. How did we happen to have a city attorney that knew Benny Benzivi here from Visalia? And do you know what's being done with that money that's being sent to you, even if it's indirectly? And what are you doing in engaging with them yourselves here in Moreno Valley? I question your ethical judgment and I question your accountability, because you totally showed a poor example right now. Thank you.
Thank you. And just a point of clarification, no council member here that I know of has accepted any money from Mr. Benny or anything like that. You know, that's not true. That's not accurate. And so I'm going to make that very, very clear for the record. Okay, next speaker, please.
Mayor, I have Julie Shear and Bob Palomares next.
Okay, great.
Ms. Shear? Julie Shear?
Hi, Julie. Okay. We'll go ahead and go to the next speaker.
Bob Palomares? Bob, you need to unmute yourself.
Bob? Oh, okay. It looks like Julie's back. Okay. I'll go ahead and allow Julie.
Okay. She's unmuted.
Okay, go ahead, Julie. Hi. Okay, we can't hear you, unfortunately. Okay, if there's a comment you want to leave us, you can in the chat box and we can try to get to you. Okay. Bob, one more time.
I click ask to unmute and he's not unmuting himself.
Okay. Okay, we'll have to go to the next speaker.
Luis Palomares?
Okay. Hi, Luis. Okay, one last time.
She's not
Okay.
unmuting.
Okay. Next speaker.
Gerald?
Tom Gerald.
The same.
Okay, I know Tom's spoken here before. Hi, Tom. Can you try unmuting them? Does that work?
It says ask to unmute, so I'm
Okay.
clicking on there and they're not unmuting themselves.
Okay.
It appears that they're calling in from a phone connection. Let me try one thing there.
Okay, we'll wait. Hey, can someone mute themselves? Okay, there we go.
If you're calling from the phone, can you press *9 to raise your hand or unmute yourself? We want to make sure that you're trying to connect with us via audio. That'll be for Tom Gerald, Bob Palomares, or Luis Palomares.
Okay, they've clicked.
Okay, let me see if we can do a manual override.
The last speakers are Elmer and Linda Thomas.
Yeah, we'll just wait a little bit, just because usually it's not more than one person that this happens, and if more than one person, then maybe there's an
Mayor,
issue.
can we take Elmer and Linda first, and then we'll circle back to Mr. and Mrs. Palomares?
The phone?
Gerald? Yeah.
Sure. Okay. How about Elmer and Linda Thomas?
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you
Hi,
for
Elmer. Hi.
appreciate it. So I'm back here again. Really surprised that Mr. David Marquez has not resigned nor issued an apology. In fact, the last time he spoke, he said that he didn't speak to anyone on the scene. And so I guess he really believed what he said when he called us nobodies. Now we don't even exist, apparently. But again, I call for him to resign for the abuse of power, a breach of ethics, basically, trying to attack me and my wife, ignoring police officer orders on the scene. I think that those are egregious activities by a city council person or just any person in general that has any kind of morals or ethics. Also, I find that he has no agenda for our district and he's just taking a seat there. A lot of folks have said that he's the only quote unquote good one on the council because of him standing up to the WLC contract. But if you would note in the last meeting, after just one meeting with the developer, he changed his vote from no to abstain, not even realizing that that is actually a no vote. So again, my confidence in him representing our district is totally shattered. I can't believe he's still in office right now. I'm just so infuriated right now. But I have hope, and I wanted to give some congratulations to the State of the City address that the mayor gave me hope in this great city and makes me proud to be a part of it. I believe in the idea of forever forward. Let's keep moving forward. Let's not go backwards. That's not why we invested in this community. We don't want to go backwards. There's a lot of other cities that are competing for the money of our demographic, and we chose this city because we see the vision moving forward. And apparently everyone except Mr. Marquez is on board. So I believe he has to go immediately, especially for his conduct in person. I will never forget the way that he treated me and my wife. And then for him to say that he didn't even speak to us on scene, that's just totally disgusting. And yes, last time he said that I was upset because they were suing me. No, I'm just sad and disappointed. The kind of person that you're representing yourself to be to your grandchildren is just quite frankly embarrassing. So to leave on a high note, I would just like to also commend the Moreno Valley School District. What I've seen so far, I have all my 3 kids in the system, and them taking the call to action after this COVID crisis and getting up to speed with technology and spending their time to learn so quickly and helping our kids jump into the next century is truly amazing. My hat's off to all of them, and I really appreciate them. And I really appreciate the time to be able to speak today. Unfortunately, my wife had to step away, so I'll have to yield her time. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Did we figure out?
Yes, we did, Mayor.
Okay, great, okay.
And I believe, City
Julie?
Clerk, is it okay if we start with Bob Palomares? And Bob, just hit star and number 6, Bob. Star and 6.
Bob?
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Hello. Yeah, I got it.
Go ahead. We hear you.
Anyway,
Yay. Okay.
Good evening, Mayor. You've been doing a tremendous job. CAL FIRE and our police, my hat's off to them because I know they're having a rough time. We've had a lot of fires, and my hat's off to them. Them people are lifesavers and property savers. But the reason for my call is that I've called a couple of cities and to see what their policy is on ex-felons running for a council seat. And I called 5 cities, and I won't mention them. The only one I'll mention is the one that has that says that it's okay for anyone to run, even if you're a felon, which is the city of Riverside, which kind of surprised me. But the reason is that LaDonna Jemison is running again, an ex-con on the run, and we've already, we can't do this. We have to clean up people that have felonies trying to run for city offices, because if you can run with a felony, then that means that they don't do any background investigation. But we do it for boards and commissions. So, let's not exclude the city council. Let's make sure we get good, honest people in there. John Lewis, the late John Lewis, he was arrested 40 times, but he was doing civil, fighting for the people. Those are good arrests. He wasn't robbing banks or committing fraud. David Marcus, I have a docket number that shows that he was called to court for committing fraud, and I've got the docket number, haven't looked into it, but, and Mr. Marcus, he's nothing but a liability to the city. What he's done to these people, the Thomases, I've never met him, but just hearing them, that's absurd. And we have to continue to put up with this. He needs to go. People need to vote for any of the other candidates and get him off of there. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't produced. All he does is just keep the seat warm. But the city needs to do something about allowing felons to run for office. There's someone that's accused another city council member of being arrested. Oh, when you're fighting for civil rights, you may get arrested. That's a person with integrity that's doing the right thing. You know, I not very many people will go out there and fight for a cause of civil rights. You know, it takes a lot of grit and a lot of determination, and even the willingness to stand.
Who's the next speaker?
Luis?
Tim, does she need to press the same thing?
Luis, if you can press *6, that'll unmute you. You may have to press it a couple times, Luis. That's *6.
There.
Hello?
Oh, we had you for a moment, Luis. Are you still there?
Press *6. There you are.
Yes, I'm calling because I want to speak about David Marcus. And what I got to say about that is he's running again. Wow, what a tragedy. He's a menace to our city. He says experience. You know, he's running on experience. What experience? You know, he's in the kindergarten right here with kindergartens because we got 2 doctorate degrees on there. We got a bachelor's and we got a master's serving on the council. Mrs. Baca has her master's. She knows all about educational law. Our mayor has his doctrines. Dr. Thornton has her doctrines. He's way out of his league and he hasn't done nothing much for our city. He's a big liability. I mean, I'm voting against, all the people I know in the 3rd district are not voting for him. And I'm so glad we're running a campaign against him. You know, and then he has his buddy in from Arizona that's going to help him in his campaign, another loser, Price. What a joke. The Losers Club. He lost his seat a long time ago. So I don't know what you're going to do, Marcus, because we don't want you anymore. You're a liability. You're a liar, fake, phony, and a fraud. You don't do anything on that council. What experience? You voted against so many things for our students here, so many things that's going to take our city into the 21st century. I mean, you got to go. I mean, you haven't done anything on that seat but cause chaos and throw monkey wrenches and everything the other council members are trying to do. You're not a part of that. You're always voting against what we're trying to do. And I want to, on another note, I want to say I'm so glad about our firefighters, what they're doing. They put their lives on the line every day. They're out there. Our police have to deal with all what's going on with all these protests going on. If they're peaceful, great. If they're not, well, you know, those people have to be accountable for what they're doing. But, you know, you got 1,000 people protesting out there and you got some agitators, you know, and they make it look like everybody's doing that, but it's not that way. And as far as the new fire chief, well, God, my hat's off to him too, because he's got a big job to do. So I am so glad we're coming close to the end of this. We're gonna, you know, vote our conscience, vote our hearts, and turn the city where, I mean, the city is on this way. It's going forward and it's great. And as far as the liar that got the first speaker, the Liars Club, well, he's throwing red meat out there. He don't have no factuals on anything going on with this council. He's just throwing red meat out there. He's on the fake news media, I'm sure. The part of the Dirty Dozen, the Haters Club, you know, anything that the council's trying to do, they always talk about, oh, they're not, but they're doing a great job. And my hat's off to all of them. And for the staff too, the staff's doing an excellent job. Thank you, staff, because you gotta do all of this to make our city. You're doing everything we gotta do to get our city up and running and keep on going in the right direction, because you have made a big difference in these last 4 years and done so much. And I thank you so much. And thank you again to the council member, everybody except for the monkey wrench, David Marquez. He's way out of his league. He's got to go. Thank you so much, and you have a good evening.
Okay, next speaker.
I have Julie Shear.
Okay. Go ahead. Julie, try pressing *9.
That'll be *6, Julie, if you can.
Oh, wait, *6, sorry.
She is unmuted. I just don't hear her speaking.
Okay, it's odd. Where is she here? Did you press star? What is it? *6?
Yes, sir. *6.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's go to Tom Gerald, and then we'll try her one more time, and then if not, we'll try giving her a call, see what we can do. Hey, Tom?
Tom will need to do *6.
Oh, that's so weird. We didn't have this before, huh? Strange.
Am I transmitting?
Hey, there you are. Hey, Tom.
Okay, well, through the first time. Thank you, Mayor and council members and members of the staff and the public listening at home or on the internet, where they're enjoying the meeting. Happy end of summer, and we got one more big heat wave coming through, maybe another one after that, but it's been a hot one. But for the record, I am supporting Mayor Gutierrez, Mayor Pro Tem Baca for the re-election, and Rafael Brigueras. Anybody knows the man knows he jumps in with 3 feet on his 4 feet for anything he tries to do. Give him triple A's for effort and enthusiasm, and he's got a kind heart. He's shown that to me on multiple occasions, and long before he was politically involved, rather than just being active in the community. So I'm happy to do that. And a little editorial comment. I think Al Capone, we all might know. I understand his brother was a peace officer and police officer, and a very credible one. So everybody has their day in court. So let's let the system work its way through and see what ferrets out on the political entanglements there. And I want to continue to commend your graffiti patrol. They do an outstanding job, and that's a great service for the city. They sometimes getting back literally in the same day within hours. And also your public works. I called in a hazard tonight for a catch basin that's missing one of the little rods that are blocking it. Somebody broke it and bent it up, and I'm afraid of some kid getting in there. So they took my report, and they're going to get on it first thing in the morning. So I want to commend that. Of course, I commend our fire and policemen. They got a tough job to do. And on the issue of racial relations, I can only sum it up so well as I've seen it several times on my street. There's 2 little girls that like to ride their bikes. One's an African-American girl, and the other, she's either white or Hispanic, but they get out and ride their bikes. They're about, look to be about 12, 13 years old. And, at the peak of all this turmoil, there they were just riding along, meandering up and down the street, oblivious to anything in the world in their own company. And I think that's beautiful. And I think it speaks to all of our city, and I'm very proud of it. And I think that's the future right there. So we need to have faith and hope and think positive. And this country is a great country, and it gets better every day. So I thank you for your time. And last thing, I may have to sign off. I'm going to support item F3, the general plan amendment and so on. I know it's a separate issue, but I may not be able to stay for the whole meeting. So I thank you.
Thank you. All right. One last time, Julie.
Mayor, Julie is going to be calling in.
Okay. Okay, has she called in already?
She's calling in right now
Oh, okay.
because she couldn't get her computer to work.
Oh, let's mute Tom. I muted him. It's been a couple months, I think, since he came back, so I'm just trying to.
I don't think she's going to be able to speak, Mayor.
Okay. All right. Okay. At this time, looking here, I don't see any more public comments. At this time, would any of the council members like to make comments? Okay, Councilmember Marquez.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mayor.
Good afternoon.
Staff. Yeah, I just want to, I'm not going to be quiet anymore on these attacks, personal attacks on me. That's fine. Palmeiras have no idea what happened on that accident. Not one idea. They don't even know these people other than being orchestrated by Raphael, because Raphael is their neighbor, and also from Baca. They have been orchestrated to attack me. That's fine. What they say is not true. I don't know these individuals. I was not involved in a car accident, but my car was used where they hit my granddaughters. If anybody wants to see the paperwork for proof, call me and I'll show you. I have nothing to hide. These individuals are just being orchestrated by my opponents in the Palomares. That's fine. The truth is, Robert Palomera, I was never arrested. I have never ever been in trouble in Riverside or Riverside County. So you keep it up, and we'll do the same thing we did with the accusations that I got sued and fired from the police department. So you can continue saying that I got arrested, you got doc numbers. Then show them to me or show them to the public. Let's bring them out in the public. I'm not going to keep quiet no more. You want to attack me? Then attack me, you and your wife. You want to keep this personal? Then I'll make it personal. So that has to stop. That's got to stop now. Second thing I want to say is I want to thank staff for the job they've been doing out here. They have gone out of their way. They have worked long hours at City Hall. Even though it's closed, they're still working. Staff, you have done a marvelous job. Marvelous job. Last but not least, we've had some events since we've been gone, but I have been working. I have been calling on residents. I've been calling on answers to business owners. I've been active, very active. Yeah, they say I sit on my behind. Well, unfortunately, with the pandemic, you can't make personal calls. You got to do it over the phone. You got to do it, on Texas, emails. So I sit on my butt and don't do anything. Well, unfortunately, that's the way it is these days. So keep on going with that. As for former council member George Price, I don't think he'd like his name being brought up every time you talk about losers. He's not a loser. None of us are losers. The losers out there are the ones who want to step on us, kick us around, and pretend that they're the big dogs in the city. Well, I don't see the Palomares out there on any of their events, food distribution. I don't see them out there. I don't see them at any events. Come on, residents of Moreno Valley, citizens of Moreno Valley, when it comes down to vote your conscience and don't listen to these people. And that's all I want to say at this time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're going to go, any other council member? No? Okay. All right, we are now going to move to our joint consent calendar, sections A, B, C, D, and E. And these are considered to be routine and non-controversial. Staff has requested that item A11 be removed from the agenda and not considered at this time. Like I mentioned, all these items are routine, non-controversial, and may be enacted by one motion. And each motion is adopted by each agency that is represented by the city, library board, housing authority, and so on. Items withdrawn for report or discussion will be heard after. Okay, so let's see if any council members would like any items for discussion. Just wave your hand, or you can raise your your hand to speak, or you just put your hand up like that. Okay, and we already heard public comment, so I'll entertain a motion by council to approve the consent calendar. Okay, motion by Councilor Marquez. A second by Mayor Pro Tem Baca. Okay, so Marquez and Baca. Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Thornton?
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez?
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca?
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Great, thank you so much. Okay, that leads us to public hearing items, and we'll have the first public hearing item, a report from the Assistant City Manager, Marshall Ironman, and it's on F1, which is public hearing for 3 national pollutant discharge elimination system mail ballot proceedings, very routine. And go ahead, Marshall.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council members. As you mentioned, this is a routine item. The action before the City Council is to conduct the public hearing for 3 separate NPDES mail ballot proceedings. This action essentially is the process to accept 5 parcels into the NPDES program and helps to mitigate their impacts or offset their NPDES issues. And for those that don't know, the NPDES is the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System. So with that, it's a very brief report, and then I can pass back to the City Council for a review of the ballots or the public hearing.
Okay, thank you so much. Any council questions of staff? Again, just wave your hand or just say you have a question. And then if not, I'm going to go ahead and open the hearing. Okay, the hearing is now open. Any public testimony on these particular items, Madam Clerk?
None.
Okay. The hearing is now closed. Any council deliberation? I don't see none. There were no questions really. I'll entertain a motion by council to approve recommendation number 2, which is to direct the city clerk, Mayor Pro Tem Baca. Motion, second by Councilmember Dr. Thornton.
Councilmember Thornton?
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez?
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca?
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez?
Yes. And we have now directed the city clerk to go ahead and open the ballots. So we'll wait a few seconds here and then see. And so city clerk, just let me know what the vote comes out to.
Okay. For the Meritage Homes ballot, they voted yes. For the Kaiser Foundation Hospital ballot, they voted yes. And for the CLPF Peacock Street ballot, they voted yes.
Okay, great. I now entertain a motion by council to approve staff's recommendation numbers 3 and 4, since the ballots were okay. Okay, motion by Mayor Pro Tem Baca. Second by Councilmember Marquez.
Councilmember Thornton?
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez?
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca?
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Great, thank you. Okay, we're gonna go on to item F2, and then if you can mute your mic, that would be great. Okay, public hearing to adopt updates for F2, the CARES Act amendment to the 2019-2020 annual action plan. So I think this one carries some pretty good news here. So we'll have a report from Financial and Management Services and Assistant City Manager, Marshall Ironman.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council members. With this item, one of the federal funding sources is the CARES Act. The city has been allocated an additional $1.7 million in Emergency Solutions Grant Program. These funds are used to address situations that have been impacted by COVID-related causes, but also focusing on homeless issues. So whether it's homelessness prevention or addressing homeless needs. So this additional $1.7 million will be coupled with about $150,000 from the last allocation that was unspent. We're piggybacking that and basically proposing that approximately $1.9 million would be allocated to multiple entities. One of the good programs that we're recommending at this time is the Rising Stars Business Academy. We'd be proposing about $32,500, which would help address some of the youth homeless issues as they've been interacting with many of those individuals. We're hoping that they can provide a solution either to their homeless needs or getting them new housing moving forward. The second entity that we're looking at funding through this program, proposing to the State Council, is funding for the United Way of Inland Valleys. This program essentially would set up a Moreno Valley rental rescue program. So as the state and federal government have moved forward with different eviction protections, this program would come into place and help meet some of those shortfalls related to COVID as well. And we'll be working on that criteria if council moves forward with that. And that program would be about $1.5 million out of it. Now, at the finance subcommittee, we had presented a third option with the social work action group to fund some of their services in addressing homeless, approximately $200,000. Since that time, we have received notice from SWAG that they're not able to accept that funding at this point in time. So with council's direction, we would recommend that that $200,000 would be moved over to United Way, and we'd increase the funding for the rental assistance program. And with that, that concludes my report.
Thank you so much, Marshall, for that very concise report. We'll go ahead and have council questions of staff.
Mayor, is this a time to make comments as well, or do we save that for deliberation?
Yeah, just wait for, deliberation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then, okay, so I'll go ahead and open the hearing since there were no council questions. The hearing is now open. Any public testimony on this item, Madam Clerk?
None.
Okay, thank you. The hearing is now closed. We'll now do council deliberation. Councilmember Cabrera.
Thank you very much, Mayor Gutierrez. And also a big thanks to our city staff, particularly on the item for Rising Stars, as well as all the other funding. I'm very grateful that we're receiving the funding and it's going to go to good use for those who are really in need. But I also want to thank the mayor for working on getting the funding for Rising Stars. And I want to congratulate Rising Stars for receiving this funding, and as well as not only the leadership there and the teachers, but the students, right? Who right now are struggling a lot, and they're going to receive much needed funding for this program and the programs that they're running at their school. So I just want to give a big shout out again to the mayor, to our city staff, Marshall Ironman, and everybody who's worked to make this happen. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Cabrera, for those kind words. Appreciate it. Okay, I'll entertain a motion by council to approve staff's recommendations numbers 2 through 4. Motion by Councilmember Dr. Thornton.
Mayor, I'm wondering, do we need to revise the motion though to include the moving of the money from SWAG to United Way?
I would say that would be the motion. Is that your motion?
Well, yes. I just wanted to clarify.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's good to clarify. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I'll second Dr. Thornton's motion.
Okay, great. And a second by Mayor Potampaca. We'll go ahead and Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Thornton?
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez?
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Yes.
Mayor Potampaca?
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Great. Okay, so I'm sure we'll have some more information about the rental assistance program to the residents coming out pretty soon. Okay, we'll have another report, F3, and this one is going to be by our Community Development Director, Manny Mancha. This is the proposed general plan amendment and change of zone, amending the 2-2 land use map and the Marina Valley General Plan and the city zoning, right over by, it's about 51.51 acres of land into 4 parcels. So we'll go ahead and have a report from Mr. Mancha.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Temp, and council members. The applicant is requesting a general plan amendment, change zone to align with each other as required by state, and a tentative parcel map to subdivide the parcel from 2 lots into 4 lots. If you can see the exhibit, if you can go to the third slide.
Well, let's wait until we get the slides up.
Here we go.
There we go. You said second slide or third slide?
The third slide.
Okay, one more.
This shows the proposed and the existing boundary line for the general plan. So you can see on your left-hand side, the existing line, which is in red. And what they're proposing to do is to change it to the exhibit on the right-hand side. You see the proposed line.
Mm-hmm.
Next
slide.
Yes, as you can see, the zoning, the existing zoning line and the proposed line. So this is what we're looking to change to meet the requirements to have them both consistent. Next slide. Here is a good representation of the proposed lines. As you can see on the left-hand side, the blue line is where the actual general plan boundary line is. And the darker line, the black line near the pink area is the zoning line. By requirements, they have to be consistent. So if you look to the right side, you can see the new lines where now the general plan and zoning are consistent with one another. So that's what the applicant is requesting at this time. Also, the tentative map, if you see on the left-hand side, you see a parcel 1 and a parcel 2. What he's proposing to do is convert it into 4 lots, as you can see on the right-hand side, parcel 1, parcel 2, parcel 3, and parcel 4. So this is what the applicant is requesting at this time. That includes the staff report.
So basically, to move to 4 parcels and then to 2 zones in zoning instead of the 4 or the several that were there.
Yeah, that's correct. The line basically is to have the general plan and the zoning line consistent with one another.
Great. Okay. Any council questions of staff? I'm going to go ahead and open the hearing at this time. Any public testimony on this item, Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir. Tom Gerald.
Okay, we'll go ahead and have Tom. And it'll be 3 minutes.
That'll be *6 again, Tom.
Yeah.
There we
Am I
go.
ready?
Yep, you are.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I wanted to support the project. It's effectively a house cleaning issue, and it's still effectively the Pursuit company that's still the owner there. It's internal partnerships, but you know, they've been a good corporate neighbor and brought some good things to the city, and so hopefully this will allow for some future development, because as we know, not a lot's happening right now, and we need those revenue dollars both in tax base and you know, construction activity and future tax revenues when we get out of this COVID-19. So those are my comments, and I thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Tom. Appreciate that. Okay, we'll go ahead and close the hearing since he was the only speaker, and then we'll have any council deliberation at this time. Okay, if desired, and then I'll entertain a motion by the council to approve staff's recommendations numbers 1 and 2 only. Mayor Pro Tem Baca, a motion. Councilmember Dr. Thornton, a second. Okay. Madam Clerk? Oh, can we repeat that again one more time? There was a little background on for Dr. Thornton's vote.
Councilmember Thornton.
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca.
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you. I entertain a motion by council to approve staff's recommendation number 3, which is to introduce the ordinance for the change of zone. Mayor Pro Tem Baca is making a motion. Dr. Thornton is making a second. Okay.
Councilmember Thornton.
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca.
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, great. I entertain a motion by council to approve staff's recommendations numbers 4 and 5, which one of them is a resolution, and then the other one is to schedule the second reading and adoption of the ordinance for the next regular city council meeting. Mayor Pro Tem? Well, let's have Dr. Thornton. Okay, you want to make the motion? Okay, Dr. Thornton. Okay, a second by Mayor Pro Tem Baca. Okay. Give Dr. Thornton.
Councilmember Thornton.
Yes.
Councilmember Marquez.
Yes.
Councilmember Cabrera.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca.
Yes.
Mayor Gutierrez.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, great. We don't have any actual general business tonight. It looks like I froze there. And then there were no items pulled. So we'll go straight to report, and we'll have a report from the March Joint Powers Chair, and that is Mayor Pro Tem Baca.
Thank you, Mayor. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Tonight I'm providing an update from the Mark Joint Powers Commission meeting that was held on August 26th. At that meeting, the commission approved a 2 one-year lease extension so that U.S. vets may continue to serve the veterans still occupying housing units at the original U.S. vet transitional facility. We also approved a 6-month extension to the current memorandum of understanding with Hillwood Enterprises to allow additional review time for the development proposed on JPA property between I-215 and the base runway just south of the museum. That concludes my report on the last Mark Joint Powers Commission meeting. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much. And then my report is from the Riverside County Transportation Commission. At the August 12th meeting, the RCTC actually met and approved the construction. So this is actually good news, construction contract to add a lane on a 2-mile long stretch of the westbound 91 freeway. And this is going to be between Green River Road and State Route 241. So if you commute to the Orange County area, I think that'll help. This will improve definitely the travel times between Riverside and Orange counties. And the work is expected to be completed by the end of 2021. And that concludes my report for the RCTC. Okay. We'll now go to our city manager's report.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, members of City Council. I just want to first welcome the Mayor and City Council back from the summer recess. I know that it was a recess, but I think we were very busy during the summertime, and I think all the council members were very active as well. And there was a lot of events and happening during the summer recess. And the second thing is we have our Labor Day weekend coming up. I just want to wish the Mayor and City Council a very safe Labor Day weekend if you're traveling. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. City Attorney's report. City Attorney? There you are.
The report.
Oh.
Get that?
I think it took longer to say that, huh? That's
No.
good.
I said it several times.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. No problem. Thank you. Well, thank you for your work, for your hard work. I know you do a lot. Okay. So now it leads us to closing comments from council members that didn't speak earlier. So we'll have Councilmember Dr. Thornton. And then
Just to clarify, we have 5 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I want to thank our park staff for putting together the amazing Mobile Drive-In movies. Normally we show a movie series during the summer, and so I was so happy that we were able to be innovative and still provide a way for families to get out and enjoy the outdoor space with the drive-in movies. I'm hoping we'll still be able to keep some type of component with that in the future. I just want to speak out about car accidents. Car accidents on our surface streets are on the rise, and I'm asking people to slow down. I know that we're trying to get places really fast, and it seems like at some point there was less cars on the road, but car accident it have increased, and I'm asking you all to watch where you're going. Same with the wildfires. The air quality, and it's wildfire season, and that seems to be our natural disaster that happens every year. And so we are susceptible to wildfires in this area, and I'm asking for people to really be conscious and aware of everything from grilling to dropping cigarette butts. I want to thank the City Council for supporting on the consent calendar the mobile hotspots that now are available for our residents to check out. Please reach out to the libraries that we have, and you are now able to rent out mobile spots, or check out mobile spots. This is going to be very important for those of us who have children at home, and we're finding that we need more bandwidth or just access to the mobile hotspot. A couple things I think some of my colleagues have mentioned, we were really busy during this dark period, and 2 things that I have been involved in is I want to thank Supervisor Hewitt for forming an African American task force, which I'm a member of. And with this task force, we originally were created to really address the disproportionate levels of African Americans who were experiencing mortality due to COVID-19. And we've really taken on some of the issues that are impacting the African American community. Many of you might not know this, but Moreno Valley has the largest African American population in Riverside County at 20%. And so we are really just trying to figure out what policies are created that might be serving as a barrier to access. So we're talking about everything from public health, housing, workforce development, and voting. And what I'm hoping for is that many of these policies that we're evaluating are definitely going to have a impact on all of the ethnicities that live in Moreno Valley. And I just want to I'm just very appreciative to be a part of the conversation to try to help ensure that we have access in all those areas. Lastly, I sit on a policy development board at the League of California Cities representing Riverside County, and I was asked by the president of the league to be a member of the General Resolutions Committee for our upcoming annual conference that's going to be happening in October. And I'm very excited about this. When I campaigned, one thing that I talked about is that Moreno Valley, we're the second largest city in Riverside County, and we need to be having more of an impact when it comes to regional decisions that are made and state level decisions that are made. There's far too often where we're being subjected to some of the major cities in this state and Sacramento, the developing policies, and we are being negatively impacted by that. And so being a part of this resolutions committee, I will be able to have a seat at the table representing not only our city, but I'm hoping the region, in deciding policies that the league take on that really are meant to address the issues that we're facing as a city. And I think this is an exciting opportunity for us as a city to have a stake in the game when it comes to state level policy decision making, so that we can continue to grow and progress like we've been talking about. So I'm so happy to be back and to be having our meetings. I missed our Tuesday meetings like this. And so if anyone at any point has anything they want to talk to me about, please reach out to me at carlat@moval.org. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much. Okay, we have, I believe it's Councilmember Cabrera.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
There you go. Thank you very much, Mayor. Okay, well, welcome back, everyone. It's really good to be here, although not in person yet, but we're able to come together and start moving things forward again officially. And it was a very busy and hot summer. There was a lot going on, and a few of the things I just want to kind of touch on. Firstly, the brand new Santiago Park, the groundbreaking that actually happened last week. And that's really a blessing to have a new park coming sometime next year, hopefully around the middle of the year. It should be complete, but it's going to be right here off of Gentian and Paris, kind of behind the Home Depot. It's part of a 200 home residential project by Meritage Homes. And so it's really exciting that we're going to have a brand new park called Santiago Park. It's going to be connected to the San Juan Bautista de Anza trail that runs all the way through the city up to Lake Paris. It's going to have a fitness area with fitness equipment that, from what park staff told me, I think there's only one other city in the state that is actually going to have the equipment, but we would be the only two cities that will actually have that fitness equipment. So it's the first of its kind, and we're actually going to have it here in our city. So that's really exciting. It's also going to have a lighted walking path. It's going to have a playground for children and families, and I'm really looking forward to that. So another exciting project that literally we just had the ribbon cutting yesterday is our brand new library, the third city library right here off of Paris Boulevard between Iris and Cremeria. It's right next to Jitters Coffee. And this has been in the works for, I'm going to say, years. I believe it's been a year and a half, maybe 2 years since we got the ball rolling on this. And so once again, I just want to thank everyone at City Hall, from my colleagues on the City Council to the city staff who worked day and night over these past couple of years to bring this project to fruition for the community. If you haven't had a chance to go check it out, I highly recommend, if you have a minute, a couple minutes, especially if you have family members, you know, children, nieces, nephews, grandson, granddaughter, to go out there and not only check out the books because they're brand new, they have a children's area, but we have a technology center, which is the first of its kind. It has 3D printers, it has technology for coding, it has gaming computers, it has an Oculus Rift for virtual reality. So we're really trying to, you know, move the city forward in terms of educational attainment and knowledge. And this is part of that endeavor, right? And so I think all of us can agree that furthering the education of our community is a top priority. And this is another step in that right direction, right? To keep Moreno Valley at the top of the hill and keep us as an example, as a role model city for the rest of the state and the rest of the country to follow. Because we may be not a large city. We sit kind of in the middle, but we're making a lot of things happen. And so people hopefully can look to us and see that we are able to find a balance between business and the community, because that's exactly what we're doing. So I'm super excited about this library, the 150 hotspots that we'll have soon. Also at the libraries, the school district, MVUSD, also provides hotspots, mobile hotspots for all students. So if you have any students or any children in MVUSD and you haven't gotten a hotspot and you need one, please reach out to the school district. The amphitheater is coming soon. The demonstration garden, the community garden is coming soon. Rancho del Sol golf course is open as of last Wednesday. So for any of my golfers out there, I don't golf too much, but I'm trying to practice as much as I can. So when I do go out there, I can at least play a little bit. But it is open officially as of last Wednesday. You can make your reservations at ranchodelsol.com. And we also have road repairs happening right now through December. So keep an eye out for all the construction that's going on all over the city. Thank you to all the organizations who have been hosting food pantries and doing food drives and all the supportive services for the community during this pandemic. It's been extremely busy, but I appreciate every single one of you for all the hard work that you're doing in the hot sun. I thank you all so much. And just lastly, in conclusion, I just want to thank all of you for the work that you're doing. Remember to stay united. There's a lot of tensions in this country right now, but at the end of the day, we're one family and we need to stick together. So thank you all and stay safe.
Thank you. We have Mayor Pro Tem Baca.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much for this opportunity. And I just want to remind everyone out there that's listening to the City Council that we are in full bloom silly season, and you have wild accusations going on. I just want to clarify for the record, and then I'll go on. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I'm not going to throw away my time on silliness, but I just want to clarify what David Marquez mentioned, that something about me knowing or being related to the Thomases. I've never met them. I don't know who they are. If I were to run into them outside, at the store, at the market, at anywhere, I wouldn't know who they are. I don't know what they look like, and I just want to end that lie there. I want to say welcome to our fire chief, Bill Weiser. I'm so proud of him being here. It's new blood, and I know that you're going to have a great opportunity to serve us here in Moreno Valley and the county, because this is a fast-growing community. And fortunately, we don't have that many fires, but I just want to commend you and all your staff for all the work that you've done. I know that you've been out of the city fighting these lightning fires and other brush fires that have been happening lately in our surrounding communities. I know that you're first responders and that you put your life on the line for a lot of us. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of my constituents and on behalf of the people of Moreno Valley. I want to say thank you to Tom Gerald. I think everybody knows Tom Gerald. He's been around since before incorporation. And I just want to say thank you for your kind words. And next, excuse me, I want to say thank you to the mayor and Marshall Ironman, Rising Stars, and we were able to come up with some funding for them. They do good work in the community. I know they were upset about the last time. I know Councilman Cabrera was upset, but it was not done correctly. So we met and we fixed it. And I hope that they continue to do the good work with the at-risk youth in our community. And I hope that anybody that's listening that knows anybody, whether it's a family, neighbors, friends, anybody that has teenagers that are not doing well in the regular schools, call Rising Stars. And I'm sure that they have a program for you. So a shout out to Rising Stars. Many people say, well, what are you doing for COVID-19? And there's people that are not paying their rent, don't have money for rent. Go to the United Way and they'll have funds for rental assistance. I also want to say that I know that a lot of times maybe someone feels slighted, but I just want to make this clear. When I say thank you, staff, I mean everybody. City manager, I mean media, Parks and Rec, everybody. Because we know that it's the worker bees that make things possible. And we sit here representing the voters, and you're the ones that put our plans into action. So I just want to say thank you to everybody, to the associations, and I just want to say especially our city manager, because he's our leader and he's one of our employees. We only have 3, and he's the one that gets our plans and puts them in action. And it's everybody, all the employees that make it happen. So I just want to say that I want to give you a sincere thank you. Maybe we don't say it enough, but you are very valuable to what happens here in the great city of Moreno Valley. We've had great time this summer with the movies. I've gone to them, and when they ask me, "Are you coming?" I go, "Yeah, it's the only time I get to get out. Everything's closed, so it's a good opportunity to just stay in your car, kick back, and watch a movie." And I encourage that we continue this, and hopefully it'll be at the amphitheater very soon. And I look forward to that. The mobile hotspots. People take for granted that everyone has Wi-Fi. Well, they don't. So if you need, a hotspot, that means Wi-Fi, you can check one out at the library, and one hotspot will be good for 8 members of your family. And with that, I'll go on to our libraries. We have 3 libraries now in the city. We just did a grand opening for the 3rd library on Iris, and actually it's on Paris, and the crossroad is Iris. And it has new technology. Please go, please visit. Even if you live on the other side of town, I know the Moreno Valley Mall library may be closer to you, but take a trek across town and take a look at our brand new library. And I know that I love libraries, I love to read, and even if you don't, go there and look at all the technology and bring your family up to date on what's going on. So I want to say thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity to speak, and good night.
Thank you. And I just wanted to just mention to everybody again, to welcome to everyone back to work. We've actually been working at these past 2 months as council members, actually, taking calls, Zoom meetings, meeting with constituents, and all that as well. But a lot has actually happened in these last 2 months. From this terrible heat wave that was happening, obviously it cooled down. I think it's going to go up in the next 3 days, but even to back to school as well. So I want to thank the teachers, especially give a shout out to the teachers for their heroic work that they're doing right now. And also the students. I know the students are probably frustrated too, because a lot of them want to go back to school and hang out with their friends and all that. So, just hang in there. We're going to get through this together. Want to thank our firefighters as well from our city as well for all of their hard work with responding to medical calls as well, even with related to COVID. They're putting their lives in the line, and also our police as well. So thank you to all the chiefs and all the employees that are under the chiefs as well. I also want to just highlight a little bit that Labor Day is actually coming. Labor Day is a very important day, especially, to me, but it should be to everybody, because really it's a day where we really recognize the labor movement that's happened in America, and it has happened in America, whether you're pro-union or not, but it's happened. And what the achievements that many of the labor associations and unions have been able to do in this country. But it also recognizes Labor Day, just the people that go to work and the people that promote some of the achievements in our beautiful country. So I think it's important to acknowledge that, even though you're grilling and with families and things like that, just all of the things that people fought for to get to where we are right now, whether you're pro-union or not, just in general, all the things that we have been able to get to, which even relates to civil rights as well. Like I mentioned, a lot of great things have actually happened in the city, from the mobile drive-in theaters that we were able to do. Some of the council members mentioned that as well, so I won't talk much about that. But also the mobile senior eats. That's been a great program. So many seniors have written to me just telling me, and it's really my bright spot, really is just to read those comments from the seniors about how happy they are to get those meals. And this is something that's continued in our city. So not only just the mobile meals, but now the senior eats. In the past, I want to say 2 months, I think we've already been implementing the program, and it's supposed to go to September and possibly even till December. So by us taking action today, we were able to allow this through the ratification of the pandemic response. So this is really exciting news. And then again, the rental assistance that we approved. So if you are in need of any rental assistance, there is criteria. The city will be providing that. We're contracting out with United Way, but it is through the city. So I just want to say that we're here to provide that support. And then also I want to thank the council for taking the leadership to approve outdoor permits for businesses. This has been tremendous, really big in seeing a lot of the restaurants happy that they're at least able to, I mean, not happy in general because they can't do the indoor, but at least bringing in some revenue. And that translates to some sales tax dollar for our city as well. From road improvements as well, that has been significant. You're going to see a lot more road improvement in the next 2 months. And then also, the new library, like Councilmember Cabrera mentioned as well, our third library that's actually come out has 3D printers, has an actually multi-purpose room in there as well. It actually looks a little bit larger than the one at the mall, although it's a little bit smaller, but it's a great addition to our city. I think we're going to really enjoy it, and then I think the youth are going to really like it. And it's already open up to 25% capacity, so you can actually go out there and go to the library as well. And again, the golf course, like one of the council members mentioned, the golf course is open. I want to encourage everyone, let's support this golf course. Let's make it work. It takes a village. It takes a village, like they say, and it's really important that we all help out in any way, whether we're golfers or not. We want to see that thrive, especially in that area. I grew up in the city. I remember as a little kid, I used to go there and play. And so, it's really important that we all contribute, we all support. And from 7 to 11 might be $55, but I know after that, it's a lot cheaper. So look at those specials, maybe go out during later on in the day, it's a lot cheaper. But let's support this golf course. Let's make this work. And we have the residents to do it, so I know we can. And then in short, I just want to close. There's been so much violence, unfortunately, in the last few weeks. Shootings, murders, just in general. And there's been so many things and even people that have died that have been very positive to our country. So I want to just close in memory of the victims, just in general, of victims in general that have passed away in the last 2 weeks, and victims in general related to also gun violence too as well. So we'll go ahead and close the meeting in memory of those victims. And we'll close the meeting and adjourn the meeting at 7:14 p.m. Thank you. Have a good night, guys. Bye.